mucus. Have I ever told you before, mucus is your friend? Okay. Mucus is there to protect you against acid, to lubricate. It is a very multi-purpose item. Identify the structure indicated by the arrow. That structure is a villus. One villus, an intestine full of villi. Okay? If we take it up to a little bit higher power, this is really quite a nice slide of the duodenum. Okay, identify the tissue indicated by the arrow. Simple columnar epithelial tissue. Okay, identify the layer occupied by the arrow. Lamina propria, identify the membrane in the field of view. Mucous membrane, drop back to a little lower power. Identify the structure seen here in cross-section indicated by the arrow. I hear it, good. Cryptive labricune. It is an intestinal gland. And I go down to the bottom, and right along here I should be able to find what layer? Muscularis mucosa should be there, shouldn't it? I should be able to get in here and find a few, somewhere, smooth muscle cells. Right along there, some there, see them? They're there. Trust me. Okay? Trust me. Because what are these? These are Brunner's glands, aren't they? And Brunner's glands, and now listen to this, are typically in the submucosa, but once in a while we'll find them up in the lamina propria. Okay? There's not a hard, fast rule over where they have to be. And once in a while you'll get down about this far and you'll find a nice muscularis mucosa going through there. So don't let that worry you. It's just a variation you're going to run into. Submucosa, muscularis. And by the way, this particular slide, is that nice or what? There we see classic longitudinal and cross-section of smooth muscle, as good as you're ever going to see it on any slide. Right? And if I look along this junction between the muscle, what might I find? Probably there. And I heard it in various forms out there. Parasympathetic postganglionic neuron cell bodies. Okay? Yes, indeed. And I come on out. Whoa, what am I in there? Must be a vein. Look at all the white cells in there. A lot of white cells and little red cells. Go to the lower power. Yeah, nice big vein ran into. And there's its associated artery. Good. Organ? Pancreas. Now you notice this little light area there? Well, here's a good one there. See the light area? That light area is what portion of the pancreas? Islet of Langerhans. Name two specific products of the islet of Langerhans. Insulin and glucagon. Glucagon. Okay? These are the two hormones that deal with your body's metabolic rate, deal with your body's metabolic process, the way you're dealing with proteins, carbohydrates, and lipids. And so chapter 25, we'll get into a big-time discussion of insulin and glucagon. Okay? Where does this islet secrete to? Poor English. The islet of Langerhans secretes to the topological interior of the body. It's an endocrine gland producing hormones. All of the structures out here surrounding the arrow are what? Acini. They are what kind of a gland? Where do they secrete? To the topological exterior. Somewhere in here there's probably a duct. And boy, I don't see one. There should be a duct on this slide somewhere. And I don't see one, because that's an artery and a vein. So we don't seem to have a duct on this slide. They missed it. Too bad. But that duct is going to the duodenum, which is the topological exterior of the body. Here? I'm not sure. I was ignoring it. I was hoping you wouldn't ask. It might be a duct with secretion in it because there's some cuboidal cells around it, but I was sort of hiding from it. Okay. But here we see all of the various acini. Okay. We will run into pancreas. We'll look at another slide of it. Okay. Now I want to emphasize back also, if we go in and look at this duodenum, this is an absolutely fabulous slide of duodenum. Okay. It's got nice villi and nice columnar epithelial tissues. It's hard to get a good intestinal slide. Okay? Because identify the organ in the field of view. Take your first shot. Pancreas. Yeah, just happened to get in there and run into pancreas, which wasn't what I was looking for. There it is. What's that? That's a duct, isn't it? Okay. We look at that and we see that it has very nice, what kind of tissue? Columnar. That's beautiful, simple columnar epithelial tissue. Well, that's not what I'm looking for. What are these? Mucus tubules, Brunner's glands. I hear both of that. That's good. Because I get out here and start looking and see here's the muscularis mucosa. And here is the inside of the duodenum. Is that beautiful? No, it's junk, isn't it? It's trash. Okay? Try and find, like here is a villus. What's missing? The columnar epithelium. Okay? The columnar epithelium is all fallen off of these. See, we get down into, between villi and down into some crypts of labracune, we can see the columnar epithelium, can't we? Because intestines fall apart. They autolyze very readily. And so this is a typical intestine slide of duodenum. If we go back and look, okay, see here's more duodenum. It's all fallen apart. Ooh, what's that? I hear it? Lymphoid nodule, isn't it? Okay, here in this piece of duodenum. And I go over here. Now here we move to jejunum. Okay, muscularis, submucosa. What is this structure coming out here? I hear it. Plicae circularis. Because then off of the plica, see, here are villi. And I go out here and look around. There's villi out here. But again, what's happened? They're all falling apart, aren't they? The villi are not in good shape, even on this jejunum. So I will move on to the ileum. And now we find some fairly decent villi. Okay? And if we look up a little closer at these villi, we can see some fairly nice columnar epithelium. And I think if we look along here, we might see, yeah, what are those cells? You recognize some goblet cells. Okay, so this is a pretty nice simple columnar epithelium with goblet cells down in the ileum. And by the way, you notice the edge of the free surface right there of the epithelium. Why does it look so thick and indistinct? Has microvilli. It's a brush border. It's a striated border, whatever you want to call it. Okay, we can't really see the microvilli, but we can certainly see the striated border, can't we? That kind of double line along there. Okay, moving along. And by the way,